All right, welcome to the podcast. I am Pia Muehlenbeck. I'm here with Kane.
Good evening.
And this is Wine Time, the show where we crack open a bottle of bubbly and suggest you do the same.
Not if you're driving, even if you're in a self-driving car. Wait till you get home before you open that bottle.
And join us as we chat through the week that was.
So it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I feel like we have to chat through more than just a week.
Yeah, the year that was.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't done the podcast since, I think it was August last year.
It was a while.
That was when we said we're going traveling.
Yes.
What is that? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. No, surely not. 10 months?
I think so.
Wow. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that. We went a little MIA there, but we decided to pack up all our belongings, which is still in storage in Sydney, by the way. And we haven't actually had a facility to record our podcast up until now.
Yeah, we just got our roadcaster out of storage literally last week. So we're now back. We are kind of stationary. We're in the Gold Coast. So I think we should be able to crack on with season 2 quite easily.
Yes.
That's the plan anyway.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, so we should probably do a quick update of what we have done since August.
Yes.
I mean, that would make sense, right?
Yeah, it's been quite a lot. Get ready for this. It's the most random turn of events.
So I guess we can start off with August. We left Sydney. COVID was kind of coming under control at that point. It did get worse after that, but at that point it was under control and we were allowed to leave the state. So we went to Queensland, which is where Pia's family are from. We thought it was nice to go up there, spend a bit of time and do a bit of traveling. So that's why we did the Big Aussie Adventure up there to start with. The idea was to drive around Queensland in an electric car and kind of show you that it was a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it was kind of a bid to, drum up a little bit of local tourism, domestic travel, that kind of thing. Obviously, no international travel was on the cards for us for the entirety of 2020. So we just decided to pack up all our stuff, pack a few suitcases in the Tesla and go driving around the country, which was an incredible experience, honestly.
It was amazing, yeah. Australia is one of, it really reminded me why I came to Australia and how much I love it.
Yes.
I think that we got a little bit blessed is probably the wrong word, but just because of what we do with work, we got to travel a lot over the last few years to other exotic places. And you kind of forget just how amazing Australia is. It's a really cool place.
Yeah, every chance we had, we would hop somewhere internationally. And we rarely ever explored Australia. And I think that was one benefit that came, out of this whole thing for us personally, is that we actually took the time to explore our own backyard and kind of appreciate that. So we are actually going to carry on the series, just not in a full-time scenario. So we have kind of settled somewhere a little bit and we will still do Big Aussie Adventure vlogs, but just not entirely full-time because I'm not sure if the nomad life completely is for me.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just the fact that we would be traveling and then we would hear of a little outbreak of COVID in a different state. And we had planned to go there. So then we had to put everything on hold again because we weren't in Australia. You're not allowed to travel between states if there's COVID. It's it's how we've managed to maintain kind of a level of normalcy over here for the last year. So it was very stop-start for us. We weren't able to do what we wanted to do over and over and over again. And it was a bit risky as well. We didn't want to, we've got family here. We didn't want to go somewhere that was a COVID risk and then bring it back and all these sort of things. So it was great in theory.
But we wanted to do it responsibly and that was tricky.
So in the time that we weren't traveling, it was a really, really weird story. We actually bumped into a friend of ours who was from Bondi. And I don't know if we ever mentioned it on the podcast before or anywhere actually, but part of our kind of long-term vision with Slinky was to create a Slinky health and wellness space. That's always been on the roadmap for our business. And it was kind of something we put on the back burner, right?
Yeah. It's a big project that we didn't really ever know how to start, but it was this huge dream and kind of a mood board thing that we had for ages. I really wanted this space where we could actually interact with our community on a daily basis and create this amazing sort of lifestyle wellness space where people would just feel so welcomed and kind of fully can make a change with their life.
Yeah. So it's kind of something that we've had just in the back of our mind for a long time. Obviously, Slinky's going nicely for us. So, if it isn't broke, don't try and fix it sort of thing.
Yeah. And then the weirdest thing happened. So we were here on the Gold Coast and we ran into some friends of ours from Bondi and we kind of had a few dinners and a few drinks and we told them that this was, something that we were planning down the line at some point. And as fate has it, that's something that they were planning at the exact same time.
Yeah, the reason we bumped into them up here was because they were actually in the Gold Coast looking for a site for their health and wellness space.
Yeah.
So after a couple of dinners, we kind of thought, well, hang on a minute, why don't we just combine forces? This is something we all want to do. And if you've seen our YouTube channel, that's what we did. We actually spent from about August, September last year working, whilst doing the Big Aussie event, but working with Pete, Emma and Lucy and kind of building out this really, really cool, I don't even want to call it a gym. It's a fitness, health and wellness sanctuary.
I know, guys, we are honestly, this is by far the coolest, biggest thing we've ever done. Like, if you haven't seen our YouTube video, go and watch it because we do a full tour of the space. And oh my gosh, I am just so proud as punch of what we've created here because it's this amazingly designed space. It's right on the beach in Broadbeach and it's a huge functional training studio. It also has yoga, meditation. We do things like sunrise yoga, and we also have a full room for Reformer Pilates, which has like this Himalayan rock salt wall. It is just a sanctuary, exactly what Kane said.
So it was a really big risk for us a really big risk. That's a hard thing to say. It was a really big risk. There we go. Because we started like this whole project during a pandemic. Like we weren't sure if this pandemic was going to last a month or a year or 2 years. Like as it happens in some countries, it has gone into year 2. So we really did take, you know, I want to call it an educated risk, but it wasn't. We didn't know. It was just a big risky situation. And thank goodness it's all under control here.
Yeah.
And the gym is pumping. It's really, really going well. So if you are in the area, make sure you come down and say hi. We're there pretty much every day, mainly in the mornings.
Yeah.
But yeah, we now have a gym. So that's another reason why we've kind of put the Big Aussie Adventure on hold a bit, just we're here
to build that.
Yeah, we're
exactly.
building a business.
It is the coolest feeling as well because we've never really, like Kane and I, ever since we started social media, all our businesses have sort of been digitally based. So we rarely have the opportunity where we can actually interact with our community and like build this insane sort of friendship group. And I feel like that's exactly what change has become for us. Like we launched about 4 or 5 months ago and nobody there knew each other then. And now you would see these people, we've had like events and stuff together, and they are best mates. You know, they're walking to the gym together with their morning coffees. We all go for a surf or a bike ride after the functional training classes, and the vibe there is just unbelievable. Like it just feels like this amazing support group. And we actually like looked at some research that showed that I think it's like 70% of people actually go to a gym
for the community.
More than, you know, the fitness element or the aesthetics or whatever. So
I mean, that does make sense. If I think back to all the times I've been to a gym, I'm always very happy when I see people I know there. Like, hey mate, how are you? Like it's a nice little, you've all got a collective goal.
Yeah.
And you're all there. No one's like kind of, you don't go and laugh at someone else who's not as fit as you. Like you're there because you're all trying to become better.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of a nice mindset.
Well, I remember you telling me when you first moved to Australia, the way that you made most of your friends was by joining a gym.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like even now, my best friends, my business partner, Dominic, I met him at the gym. He's still my business partner now.
Yeah.
10 years later, 11 years later. Like it is a really great way to meet people.
Yeah.
I really like it.
So that's a big piece of news from our end.
Yeah. So that's kind of, that has really kept us busy throughout the pandemic. So.
Yeah, it panned out really well because I guess while everything was sort of on hold a little bit, you know, and most things were shut down, we actually took the time to build this space. And then as we were ready to launch, Australia kind of managed to get on top of the COVID situation. And so we knew that everyone would be really hungry to get out and train with people rather than just doing their little home workouts or whatever we were all doing. And so I think the success of it will also, you know, we actually have the timing to thank for it a little bit because I think there was such a thirst for people to get out, interact with other people, and then, you know, get training again.
Well, they say timing is everything, hey?
Yeah.
So with this business, the reason we're talking about this, with this, we're going to be very, very transparent with everything.
Yes.
We haven't really ever been super transparent with Slinky. We do talk about, hey, we're doing a photo shoot today and blah, 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 but we don't ever talk about the actual financials. With Change, we're actually going to be very transparent down to the dollar because we are franchising it. So we want you guys to know how much stuff costs and how you can get involved. So currently, what is the date? It is May something.
May 14th.
May 14th. We have 16 new locations on the horizon now that are going to be kind of franchised out, which is really incredible. We didn't expect that. We didn't expect so much interest, but that's what we're doing. And they will range from anywhere from 400,000 to around about $1 million. And the one that, if you ever come to Broadbeach, that one cost around about $1 million to build and kit out. So on YouTube, we're going to be very transparent with how much stuff costs, the pain points. If we have problems with the way things have gone, we're going to be very honest and open with you. So you guys know, if anyone's interested in how to do this sort of business, we would hope that you'd join our franchise. But if you want to, even want to do it yourself, like you can actually watch how we're doing it and see how much stuff costs. And I think it's going to be quite unique.
For instance, next week we are heading to Newcastle to look at a site there. So we've got a few sites that we're going to look at. We're going to make some decisions and we're going to vlog the entire thing. So it's completely different content for us. It's a little bit more, I guess, business-based content as opposed to travel. But at the end of the day, this is the phase of life that we're in and this is what we're currently like super excited and passionate about. So we figured that's something that we should share with you guys. And I hope people are interested in it.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I've been talking a little bit about my trading.
Yeah.
On like for the whole year.
I know.
But no, the reason it's not even that funny because the thing is people love it.
I know.
Like
Yeah.
I get more messages about stocks and shares than anything else we've ever done.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
5-6 years of social media. And I guess that's because the timing is right, because people are at home, they're kind of chilling, they're trying to work out how to make money perhaps while they don't have a traditional job that they can go to because of the pandemic and blah, blah, blah. And you can trade from home.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of people are like taking this opportunity to skill up and learn something new, you know?
I think so. Well, that's exactly what we did, right?
Yeah.
This time last year, I started trading. I was fortunate to notice that the stock markets had crashed around about March, I think it was. The one thing I did know was that if you buy stocks when they're really low, you have a better chance of them going up, right?
Yeah, you're buying them at a discount.
Yeah, I really did, and that really worked out well for me. So I kind of put a lot more time and effort into learning about that, and now I'm doing that probably like 2 hours a day, and I'm really enjoying it. So if you like that sort of stuff, go follow me on Twitter, where I am very prolifically talking about what I do. But it is not financial advice. Do not take my advice.
Do not take Kane's advice. He is still learning. It's going very well for him, but he is definitely not a financial advisor in any respect. No. Although I think you might be banned from Tesla shares from now on.
Yeah, hang on a minute. I've actually I prepared a theme tune for this moment. I know you want to talk about this on the podcast. Hold on. Are you ready? There we go. That's my new theme tune. You can call me Darth Vato.
Darth Vato?
Gone to the dark side.
Oh my gosh.
You should probably explain why that is my theme tune.
Kane's a troll now.
No, I'm not a troll. So I got to give you the backstory, right? We bought our Tesla beginning of 2019.
Yeah.
Along with that purchase, we bought a thing called full self-driving, which is the dream scenario. This computer-controlled car, you can just say, come pick me up.
Yeah.
And it will drive from wherever it is. It will navigate the traffic, come to you and pick you up, right?
Yeah. Which was a completely separate feature to purchase. Like you can buy the car without it. We paid extra.
$8,000 we paid for this thing, right?
Kane's bitter.
I'm annoyed because in the dealership they promised me, oh yeah, it's coming in a couple of months. It's almost finished. And on the website there were videos of this thing working. They were showing how it did it. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. I want this. This is amazing. So I paid for it. And it was meant to come in 2019 at the end of the year. It said coming end of 2019. Anyway, 2019 rolled around, 2020 rolled around. We're now in 2021 and there's no sign of it. They've given a few little updates like it can reverse out of a car parking spot for you.
Yeah.
And also 9 times out of 10 doesn't work.
But isn't it like pretty much self-driving?
No,
like,
not at all.
When we drove to Cairns and back, I swear you weren't driving for 90% of that time.
It was holding the lane, yes.
Yeah.
Just like a BMW or a Mercedes can do. So it's not full self-driving. It is literally just lane assist.
But it can change lanes.
Sometimes, but also, what do you complain about all the time? The phantom braking.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
It regularly slams its brakes on for no reason.
Yeah,
so
and then I yell at Kane.
Yeah, because she thinks it's me. So there's the thing we paid for just hasn't been delivered, right? So Elon Musk has been messing with the crypto markets over the last few days. He sent Bitcoin soaring, crashing, whatever.
God. He has so much power, it's insane.
Yeah, and I don't particularly like that. So today he tweeted that he was going to be supporting Doge and working with those guys to create a more sustainable way to do transactions. Because I don't know if you know this, but when you do crypto transactions, it costs energy. Like
Isn't it the mining that costs energy?
Well, mining is kind of the verification of those transactions. That's what makes it so secure. When I send you money, it goes via like 15 different people's computers. They do the mathematics and then they forward the money on. So there is an element of kind of like constant energy consumption that happens when crypto is moved around.
So it's not super sustainable.
I mean, if you compare it to the cost of traditional credit card banking, it's minimal.
Okay.
So
really?
Yeah. So that's what kind of grinds my gears a bit. Like, there's obviously an ulterior motive. I feel that he knows that if he accepts Bitcoin for payment for his cars, and then the market is going to crash, which we all know if you read the news, you know there's a market crash coming. He's going to be left with all this Bitcoin that's worth inherently less US dollars, which means when he does his financial report in 3 months or 6 months, it's going to look like he's made less sales.
Yes, of course.
Which is then going to inherently affect his share price, and the business is going to look bad and all this sort of stuff. So I feel that there is an ulterior motive there.
So just to backtrack a little bit, a few weeks ago, Elon announced that Tesla would be accepting Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah.
As means for buying a car.
Yeah.
And that was obviously huge news for the crypto world because it totally legitimizes it as a currency. And so Bitcoin went crazy and shot up in value.
Yeah, that's right.
And then today, was it today or yesterday?
It was yesterday he said that they will no longer be accepting Bitcoin because it's... and it's like, mate, you could... Honestly, if he wanted to do this, he could have just deleted it from the website. Like, I don't know if you can buy a Tesla with Visa or MasterCard or both. Like, if I go to buy one and the option's not there, it doesn't matter. He could have removed it so discreetly and not told a soul.
Yeah.
So by making this press release out of it, he was making a statement. He was trying to move the market. I personally believe, allegedly, don't sue me.
Total Bitcoin crash as a result.
Oh, the markets crashed. Like, I lost so much money yesterday. I don't care because I know these markets bounce around, they move a bit. So it is a little bit annoying, but I'm sure in a couple of weeks, back to where it is. So it's all good.
Seemed like you were a little agitated today, though.
Yeah. I mean, this morning I was kind of furious. So today he announced that he was going to be working with the Doge people, which annoys me because I really feel that he should be working on Tesla. As far as I'm concerned, I've just donated $8,000 to a billionaire.
To the richest man in the world.
I think he's like number 2 or something. Yeah, like it's a bit frustrating for little old me to hand over $8,000 and not get anything. If somebody bought something from Slinky in 2019, they still hadn't got it, I think we would have been sued.
Yes.
Like, literally, it's like that. So I tweeted.
Especially $8,000 worth of tights.
Yeah. So after he announced this Doge thing, Doge went sky high and Bitcoin crashed a bit or whatever. So I tweeted, stop manipulating the market and give me my full self-driving that I paid $8,000 for 2 years ago.
You jackass. You ended it with you jackass. Were you just going to leave it there?
I may have added that. I don't think that's offensive. I think it's just like added gusto. I just was very angry and heated. Anyway, all of Elon's little minions came at me and sent me a lot of hate, which I kind of found a little bit amusing. But
you also had a lot of people that were on your team. So it was like the most liked comment under his tweet, right?
Yeah, it was the most liked tweet under his tweet, which obviously meant that he saw it, right? Because it kind of rises to the top. You know, when you like a tweet, it bubbles to the top, right?
Yeah.
And Elon's very prolific on Twitter. So he blocked me. I'm blocked by... honestly, my hero, a little bit.
No, you're blocked by your hero. That's what you get for calling someone a jackass.
It's kind of like I'm frustrated, but I'm also devastated a bit, you know.
But you also feel oddly proud that he got agitated enough by your comment to block you.
Well, one of two things is going to happen now. Either I'm going to wake up in the morning and the full self-driving update will be installed on my car, or I'll get in the car and it will drive me into a wall.
Oh my God, darling. What have you done?
So I'm just putting it out there now. If the car does something crazy and I'm no longer here, you know why.
Oh my gosh. Elon's there going, what's this guy's serial number?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. You can find it out.
I'll give you full self-driving. I don't know why you got so agitated though, because to me, I feel like the self-driving is pretty spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Like there's room for improvement with a few things. But like when we drove all the way to Cairns, I swear swear you weren't driving.
I mean, I didn't drive much, but that was a straight road. But that's not the point. What it does, it can do well, but it just isn't what I was sold on.
Yes.
That's the only thing. Yeah, sure, it can park itself sometimes. It can come out of a car park and find me sometimes. It will drive along the street and stop at traffic lights sometimes.
It can change lanes.
It can change lanes sometimes.
It can stop at stop signs, traffic lights.
Sometimes. It's not, I can't rely on it. And
well, we're the beta testers, you know that, right?
No, I don't like testing it with my life. I just want it to work. I don't know.
But is that partly because of the Australian government restricting self-driving? Or is that actually like the functionality of the car?
Okay, so all joking aside, they mentioned about a week or two ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, that they're going to start working on Canada, which is another left-hand drive country.
Right.
And the car's got to be retaught to read street signs and to understand road markings, all the sort of stuff that they've done in America, which now kind of works. You know, it definitely does not work. It kind of works.
Yeah.
So if they haven't even started on right-hand drive cars yet, and they're going to start on Canada in a month or two, like, are we going to wait another year before it comes over here to be proper? So, I do feel that we might have been a little bit bamboozled.
we got shook down.
Yeah. I think I was so impressed with how fast this car can go. I was like, yeah, what else can I pay you for?
Yeah.
Something else that's blown up since the last podcast is non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs, yeah.
So odd.
I must admit, I'm quite confused by it. Like, I understand the concept that it's like digital art, but isn't it kind of just a JPEG that people are paying millions and millions of dollars for?
Yeah, in its kind of most basic sense. It could be a JPEG, or it could be like a clip of a video. Like, so for example, someone messaged me and said, I'd like to buy the NFT of the wedding part where you guys are walking down the aisle, like that 5-10 second video clip in our vlog.
Yeah. So if we how would you do that? Would you export that and sell that little snippet of video to someone so that they own that footage?
Yeah, I think so. But also, like, it doesn't stop anyone else from just going and watching the vlog again. Like, you're not getting exclusivity on it. It's not like when you own the Mona Lisa in your house.
Yes.
That's the only one.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could find, photographs of it on the internet, but the actual only one with the real paint strokes and whatnot is in your house.
But similarly to art, there is typically an original, which is worth millions and millions of dollars, and then there are copies or prints.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
people have in their houses.
Like Banksy.
That's right. So they might basically, someone copying a JPEG or still posting a JPEG or something would be the same as them having a print of an original artwork.
But don't you think the lines are slightly blurred when the original is a JPEG and a copy is a JPEG? Like, it's
yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just me being me, but like, if I paid, I don't know, $1 million for a piece of artwork, I'm going to put that thing square above my couch. Everyone's going to see it. And when everyone walks in, I'm going, oh, have you seen my Mona Lisa?
Nah, all you can do is basically make it your screensaver.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Get your phone out every time someone comes like, oh, have you seen my NFT? It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's not as cool.
No, do you know what I saw? Necklaces with an Apple Watch pendant so that you can play your NFT around your neck.
Why?
As jewelry.
That's ridiculous.
So that you can display the thing that you paid. I saw one go for like $69 million. That
was the Beeple one.
Yeah. Do you think there was like immediate buyer's remorse?
I mean, it's weird, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe I kind of feel it's the same as MP3s versus an actual CD or an actual record.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to pay... Like, I've got some Prince vinyl, right, that I bought. It's special edition. The vinyl is purple. It's a picture disc. Like, it's on one side and purple on the other. Like, it's a bit of a uniquely made, cool piece of art.
Yeah.
As well as being the music. And I paid a premium for that. I kind of regret it, but I did. I wouldn't have the same happiness about owning that if it was an MP3 file.
Yes, exactly. But is there like an investment aspect to it? Like are these people that are buying these expecting them to increase in value significantly, similar to like how Pokemon cards right now are going absolutely insane?
Okay, so Pokemon is very interesting, right? Because the cards that are blowing up and making lots of money, they're in very good condition, sometimes unopened or sometimes in a plastic sleeve, so they've not no sunlight, no UV rays, nothing's attached to them. They're made of holograms. There's like been a really good level of workmanship gone into making it.
Yeah.
If I took a JPEG of that on my phone, took a photo of it, I'm sorry, I'm not paying the same amount of money for it. The only reason you want to buy art, surely, is to show people.
So here's my question with NFTs though, right? Like I understand you want to, when you buy art, it's kind of a showpiece. Like you want to hang it up in your house. You want the person to come in and go, oh, is that an original?
That's exactly right, yeah.
And then there's
actually one of my dreams is to own an original Banksy one day. That's literally on my bucket list of things I would like. I don't know why. I just like the guy. When I first started work, I used to walk past an original Banksy on a wall in Liverpool, actually in Angel Islington in London.
Yeah.
And I would see it and I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah. Art is like sophisticated flexing.
Yeah, I think so.
Realistically, you know,
can either have a Rolex or a Banksy. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah, but you want to have it up on display, sort of thing.
Like I don't care who you are. If you show me on your phone that you've spent $1 million on an NFT, I'm not impressed.
Imagine someone trying to weasel that into conversation.
Hey, nice to meet you. What's your name? Have you seen this? Like, no, mate, don't care.
It's so funny. Hey, I just don't understand it.
But the whole world's going a bit nuts with this, like with crypto right now. Like there are some very good use cases for crypto, and there's also just some very great opportunities to make good profit.
Sure.
Of completely useless tokens that will be useless in a year's time. But right now you can trade them like Pokemon cards and make a bit of cash. So I kind of get it.
Yeah.
The trick is to not be the last man standing.
Exactly.
You know, you don't want to be the person lumbered with something when nobody wants it. And I think, I might be wrong, and I know that when I've spoken about this before, everyone shoots me down, but I think NFT might be a bubble that bursts very quickly.
So here's my thing with NFTs. Isn't it extremely easy to make one?
Yeah, I've made one just to test it out.
Yeah.
There's a website called, I think it was Rare. I don't know what it was, but I literally uploaded a TIFF file, like a JPEG, but high quality.
Yeah.
And the NFT was there, and I could sell it immediately.
So how will they maintain like a low supply and therefore a high demand? Like with Picasso, not just anyone can paint like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There has to be an element of like, this is very exclusive. There are only a few of these available in the world, and that's why they cost so much. The supply and demand of it. Whereas if anyone can make an NFT for any reason, you know, this AFL star's just scored a touchdown, and then they turn that into an NFT. And then, Jake Paul knocked this guy out, and they turn that clip into an NFT.
Yeah, but anybody can paint a picture. It's whether people value it and whether the person had an interesting enough life so that, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, that is still valuable.
So what sort of NFTs do you see being of value long term?
I'm so glad you asked.
Why?
Because there is one.
Really?
There is one that I have seen, which I think is... I actually want to buy it.
Really?
I really like...
What is it?
I messaged the guy today about it. So, Rudy Mancuso?
Yeah.
Mancuso.
Yeah.
The musician.
Yeah.
He is selling an NFT/art piece right now. Now, I think he is he might be the next Prince. He's so talented. He can play so many instruments. I don't know if he sings, but he definitely plays a lot of instruments. And he basically connected up. He made an art piece where he connected a lot of instruments to a lot of kind of paint jets. And he played an original composition, all of the instruments, the pianos, the drums, the guitars, everything. The paint dispenser sprayed paint at a canvas.
Oh my God, amazing.
So when he's playing the piano, it's the MIDI is firing off these paint cannons. This huge canvas, like a massive, couch-sized canvas, is covered in splatters of paint.
Yeah.
But and I know, because we've watched that video, that the artwork is actually the music translated into paint.
Amazing.
So he's selling an NFT, which is the original artwork on the canvas, which you can put up in your house.
So actually the canvas,
physical
in addition
canvas.
to the video of how it was created.
Yeah, he did 4 takes. So there's 4 of them you can buy right now.
Yeah.
Plus the NFT version, which I assume is a JPEG. I don't know. And also the actual video of how it's made. So for me, I see that as a real selling point, that you could have a friend come around and go, wow, cool piece of art. And you could go, yes, let me show you this.
Yeah,
and
that's a good way to segue into it.
Yeah, and you go, look at how this was made, and you can play the video that only you have the ability to show.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of cool. And that's the only thing I've seen. So I think this kind of version 1 of NFT might be quite basic. People are still finding their feet with it and just uploading their artwork and going, yeah, that's an NFT. But I think we might see an evolution which becomes far more interesting and multi-leveled.
Like interactive art almost. Yeah. Are you going to try and buy the Rudy Mancuso one?
I don't know. I bought Prince's guitar. That's enough.
Yeah.
Like it's in storage right now. I'm very frustrated that it's not like on display because it's really expensive.
We need to get that out of storage.
Yeah.
It's like the coolest thing you have.
I feel like it's bending in the humidity, and I really want to just have it back in the house.
Yeah.
So that's my one piece of art. I'm happy with that.
So can you take like, you know, a Michael Jackson film clip or a Prince live show and take a moment of that and turn that into an NFT?
I assume Michael Jackson's estate could do that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we probably will see
something like that I could see as valuable.
So we don't actually have any conspiracy theories to review this episode because we forgot to tell everyone that we're recording this episode. And normally you guys send in the conspiracy theories. So I can't play this song.
Which he's very upset about, so now he's playing anyway. You just like this song, right?
I mean, it does make me feel good.
Is it now just going to be the background of our Q&A?
Yeah, the next segment in this podcast is our Q&As, and I have some questions.
Perfect.
So I can ask you a question if you'd like.
Okay, is it for me? Are you firing it at me?
This one is for you, yeah.
Okay.
Pia, what are your goals with business in the next 5 years?
Oh, okay.
Pretty big question.
I always find these questions so daunting, I have to admit.
They're pretty open-ended.
I know, it feels weird to me because 5 years ago, I don't think I could have predicted where we are now.
No,
there is
definitely not.
no way that I could have even predicted anything. So for me, 5 years is just such a long time to do so many things. But obviously, we've just embarked on a huge journey with, you know, change.
Mm-hmm.
So that for me is a major goal. I think in the next 5 years, I don't want to sound too ambitious, but we're looking at opening 400 venues within the next 5 years.
Yeah, we have a goal to have 403
locations,
gyms open in Australia.
Yeah, it's
in
going to be
5 years.
It's going to be a fair bit of work involved in that.
Well, we've got 16 ready to go this year.
Exactly. And
so
to be honest, I think
it's
doable. I do think it's doable. So there's a huge goal there that's going to take a lot of our attention. We have similar goals with Slinky, but more in a, you know, online digital kind of space there.
Yeah.
And then to be quite honest.
What about in life? What about in houses? Let's talk about houses, because I know Pia spends every moment she has spare looking on Pinterest at house decorations. So
yeah,
pretty certain that's somewhere on your list.
I think Kane and I have very much become recently really aware of the idea of investing in ourselves rather than just spending money willy-nilly.
No, Pia,
which we've done for a long time.
don't lump me into that category. I've always been of the belief that you should save money. Pia's been of the belief that we've got $1,000. Bye, babe, I'm going shopping.
So we're really on this sort of buying assets kind of train, and I've very much become a fan of interior decorating, interior design. I don't know why, but I'm like insanely obsessed with it at the moment. So for us also, you know, we've actually just bought a second apartment. So there's
we haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, we haven't really mentioned that, but we've just bought a second apartment. We've just put down the deposit for that. So what we would like to do is build a little bit of a property portfolio where actually there will be a bit of a mix of holiday stays, so like Airbnb style properties, and then permanent rentals and things like that. So there's a lot in my plan over the next 5 years that involves essentially investing in stocks, shares, crypto, growing Slinky as a business, growing Change as a chain, like as an actual franchise, and then building a little bit of a property portfolio for ourselves personally.
Well, the one thing that people don't realize, which we really only discovered a couple of years ago, and like I highly recommend everybody look into this. Like Actually, don't take my advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but
Not financial advice.
I feel like I'm going to get sued from like 15 different angles if I keep giving advice out. But the one thing that we didn't know even existed a couple of years ago, which has been an absolute goldmine for us, is you can buy rooms in hotels.
Yeah.
Like, this is news to me. So, for example, the 2 apartments that we own are actually in a hotel complex. I know the Hilton down the road also sells hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And what happens is you buy that hotel room, and when somebody goes on to Stays or Booking.com or Skyscanner or wherever you buy your hotel, if you then click on the Hilton, for example, and book a room, there is a 1 in 300 chance that you'll be allocated the room that you purchased, the house that you purchased, the apartment you purchased, and then you will get the revenue from the Hilton. The Hilton will keep half. But I had no idea that that's a thing that happens globally.
Yeah. So oddly enough, from a real estate perspective, that's actually potentially not the best investment in terms of real estate.
Yeah, true.
But for Kane and I, because we have the background in vlogging about travel and vlogging about different resorts and showcasing places that you can stay, it's actually been something that works really nicely for us. And it does give us the flexibility to go and bunker down in our little properties in different spaces.
Yes.
So that's kind of nice for us to be able to, as soon we're going to have both of them renovated, and then we'll be able to invite our audience or our community, to come and stay in our place and have a little bit of a holiday.
But the nice thing is, so an apartment, if let's say you own an apartment and for argument's sake, you're charging, I don't know, $500 a week for it. Yes, that money would all go to you. That's cool. But if you have a place that is in a hotel complex, the management company will rent that out as a daily rental.
Yes.
Now, hopefully, if you buy a place in a busy area, like for example up here in the Gold Coast, you might get $300-400 a night. Now, you've got to give 40% of that to the hotel, the management of the hotel. But that means you're making $200 a night, which is $1,400 a week.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than the weekly rental, but you got to take that risk and know that, in winter, there might not be people there or the price might be a bit lower.
So
but
it's seasonal.
It's seasonal. But the revenue of owning a hotel room is kind of cool. And it also means if you ever want to go stay there, you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is really nice. Like, I had no idea this even existed. I don't think many people know.
Yeah, yeah. So all of these goals are, quite extravagant, but I think
they're attainable though.
They're doable. I think it just takes a little bit of focus and some element of delegation, which is something that I'm really starting to get a grip of because we used
I
to
have
sort
to
of
do everything for her now.
He's really good to have on the team.
What are the challenges of working together and living together as a couple?
Okay, look, I think for Kane and I, it actually works pretty naturally. I think our relationship is actually far stronger since working and living together than it was when we both had separate jobs and we wouldn't see each other for 8 or 9 hours every day.
True.
And then come home and, just barely have dinner together, that kind of thing. I do think it takes certain personalities in order to be able to see each other 24 hours a day. But we do have some little tips and tricks that we take on board to make sure that we actually maintain a relationship in addition to like being, business partners.
Yeah, for sure. We don't talk about work before 8 a.m.
Yeah.
or after 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Like literally at 8 p.m. If you try and phone me or Pia, there is probably a good chance we won't answer because our phones are on Do Not Disturb, they're face down and we're chilling, watching a movie or doing something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's every day.
We really have to sort of put little time stamps on it. So we really like section off our day. So before 8 a.m, it's husband and wife, walking the dog, going to the gym together, enjoying ourselves. And then after 8 p.m, it's the same thing. We're just eating dinner, watching, a YouTube video or something like that and really just hanging out. Otherwise, you kind of fall into the trap of working all the time and really only discussing, the to-dos for tomorrow and all that sort of stuff. And I think that becomes mundane. So you got to make sure that you still have a fun relationship and still, have fun hanging out together. And for Kane and I must admit, I think that has happened quite naturally and just seems to sort of fit in well together. Have you got any tips?
Well, do you remember we did that personality test and we both kind of came out the same, which I think I mean, some people say you shouldn't be the same personality.
No.
But I think us being the same personality type in business is pretty good because it means that we both, I never have to tell you or ask you or get angry at you because you haven't finished your task.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, it's kind of weird. Like, we're very, very, I don't know, maybe diligent's the word. Like, if we say we're going to do something, we do it.
Yes.
And I don't need to push you don't need to push me.
No, that's
right. I think that's probably a key thing.
And we both know that if we need a day off or we need some downtime, we'll schedule that in as well. Like, I think there has to just be an element of balance. And it's very weird when your partner is also, your business partner, because at some days you just want to have a sick day or something,
that's right,
and you're like,
and you have to be able to accept that.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to just kind of be on the same page and be on the same team. So I don't know, for us it works really nicely. It does mean that we get to enjoy the wins together. We get to have all these experiences together, because what we do in social media has taken us some insane places. And I think it would be very odd if it was just one of us doing it and the other person had like a normal 9-to-5 job and was kind of just watching from the sidelines. Well, I don't think that would work as well.
That's right. We've got a lot of friends that are also kind of in this Instagram game, but the husband isn't, for example, or the boyfriend isn't.
Yeah.
And I must admit, I do feel for the boyfriend. Yeah. Because doing Instagram, if you do it well, you can have some really incredible experiences.
Yeah, there are some big perks. There's travel.
And I would be really quite jealous if like you were like, oh, by the way, I'm going to the Maldives for a photo shoot and I had to stay at home in my office.
Exactly.
Like, it would kind of suck, right?
Yeah. So we get to have all these little career wins together, and it just feels like we're on this crazy ride together. And I think if it was completely separate, it just wouldn't work, because we wouldn't be like relating to each other, you know? Whereas now we actually have common goals as a family, and it makes so much sense. We can work towards the same thing. Yeah,
I think, but in answer to the question, I think that to get rid of any challenges, you've both got to be dedicated. You've got to know what you've got to do, and you've really got to be able to switch off. That's my best advice. If someone said, how do you do it? It's, we know how to switch off.
Yeah.
And that might be a glass of wine. It might be, not opening your laptop on a Saturday. Just literally being present with the person that was your best friend, the person that was your best friend, and that's why you got into a partnership with them in the first place.
Yeah.
And never forgetting that person is your kind of partner before business partner.
Yeah. When it comes to creativity, sometimes you disagree, and sometimes
normally I'm right. That's the problem. That's the problem. Pia,
is that right?
I've won 15 creative director awards.
This is what I have to deal with.
Pia has not.
Guys, if you want to leave any questions for the next podcast, there is a link under this podcast where you can actually leave a voice message. So if you want to leave your voice in there asking us a question, we will actually feature it in the next podcast. So you can be in the Kane and Pia podcast.
And the Talk to Me in Your Ears
Yes,
section.
yes. Oh my God, I forgot about that title. That's the best. But I think we're going to wrap it up there. We are super excited to be back podcasting. I have missed this so much.
It's so nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really fun just having a good old chit chat with a little glass of wine. So we'll be back next week for you guys. Make sure you leave us some conspiracy theories and some questions.
That's where we're going to end today's episode of Wine Time. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure you're subscribed and have hit that 5-star rating on this episode. Every little bit helps, so we really appreciate that. If you fancy keeping up with our antics outside of this podcast, you can always follow us on Instagram. The links are in this description, or you can check out our YouTube channel where we post at least 2 videos a week. If you'd like to check out our website, which has heaps of posts as well as all our photo and video presets, head over to kaneandpia.com. That's www.kaneandpia.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.